This video is about she was his destiny, but his pack swore she was the curse. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The moon hung high over the dense forest, casting silver beams that danced through the trees. The air thrummed with the scent of pine and damp earth, the sounds of the night echoing like a lullaby. It was this very night that would change everything for Elias. Elias, the fierce alpha of the Black-Horn pack, stood at the edge of the clearing, his broad shoulders tense with uncertainty. His pack had gathered, air thick with whispers and barely concealed fury. They eyed the shadows of the forest, their gazes filled with unyielding loyalty, but tonight, their fierce devotion felt like a noose tightening around his heart. "She's a danger to us," Elias barked Lyra, his second-in-command. Her voice cut through the tension, sharp as the claws of a wolf ready to defend its territory. "You can't let your heart lead you into this madness." He clenched his fists, feeling the warmth of wolf instincts bubbling beneath his skin. The pull he felt toward her was undeniable, a magnetic force that drew him closer to an abyss that threatened the very foundation of his pack. "You don't understand, Lyra, the bond is inexplicable." "The bond?" Lyra scoffed, her green eyes flashing with indignation. "She is an Omega from the rival pack, Elias. The ALL never accept us if you claim her. The ALL see it as a declaration of war." The thought sent a shiver down his spine. He knew the stakes, yet the vision of her Amara, with her wild hair glinting like spun gold in the moonlight, flooded his mind, relentless as the tide. She was both his light and his curse, a tempest swelling within him, igniting a fire he couldn't contain. "She is not just any Omega," he replied, his voice low and steady. "She is my mate." A wave of silence swept through the clearing, thick and suffocating. The murmurs of protest faded, replaced by a collective gasp. The revelation hung in the air, heavy with disbelief. "Your mate?" whispered Breeden, the pack's elder, his voice hoarse as if the words had choked him. "You will bring ruin upon us, Elias." Elias's heart raced, caught between a primal need and the expectations of his pack. He could feel their betrayal simmering just beneath the surface. "I can't ignore this, it is destiny." "Destiny?" Lyra spat. "Or weakness, the moment you choose her over us, you LL lose everything." He turned away, the weight of their judgment almost unbearable. He could feel their disdain like an icy grip around his throat. But the moment he locked eyes with Amara, something in him had shifted. It was as if the universe had woven their fates together, a tapestry of shadows and light. He remembered their first encounter vividly, the way she laughed, her voice like a melody threading through the chaos of his life. He had found her in the market, her spirit bright even amidst the tension between their packs. She had been picking flowers, her fingers dancing over their petals with an innocence that made his heart ache. "Elias," she called softly, her eyes shimmering with curiosity. "Why do you look so troubled?" "It is complicated," he had replied, his gaze drawn to her. He was a beast, a protector. Yet in that moment, standing before her, he had felt like a lost boy. "Complicated can be beautiful too," she had said, a secret smile playing on her lips. "Sometimes it is worth unraveling." Now her laughter was a distant memory, and the darkness of reality closed in on him. His pack, his family, were turning against him. He could feel their eyes, like daggers piercing through his resolve, and he knew he needed to act. "Let us go," he said, his voice firm despite the turmoil within. "I won't abandon my mate. If my heart leads me to war, then so be it." As the other wolves shifted uncomfortably, Elias turned and bolted into the night, the weight of his decision heavy on his shoulders. Each paw step echoed with the promise of battle, but also the hope of something more profound and beautiful than he had ever known. Amara was waiting for him at the edge of the woods, illuminated by the silvery moonlight. She stood there, a vision of enchantment, her long hair flowing like a waterfall of gold. The moment their eyes met, the world around him faded away. "Elias," she breathed, her voice tremulous with anticipation. "What is wrong?" He stepped closer, heart pounding like a war drum. "I had to come, Amara. I can't fight this feeling anymore. Yuri, my mate." Her expression shifted, confusion intermingling with joy. "But your packer." "They don't understand," he interrupted, his voice desperate. "They see you as a curse, but to me, Yuri everything. Yuri my destiny." Tears shimmered in her eyes, reflections of the moonlight. "What if they don't accept us? What if this love brings destruction?" Elias reached for her hand, intertwining their fingers, grounding them in that moment. "Then we will fight, together, for what we've found in each other." She searched his eyes, her breath hitching as she fought against the doubt that crept into her heart. "I don't want to be the reason for your downfall. I can It won't be your fault, he assured her, his thumb grazing her knuckles. We can change their minds. We have to believe in this bond. In that instant, a howl pierced the night, echoing through the trees like a calling bell. It was a challenge, a warning from his pack, demanding that he return. But Elias stood resolute. Let them come, he murmured, holding Amara's gaze. I will protect you, even against my own. A flicker of determination ignited in her eyes, warmth blossoming between them. Then I will stand with you, Elias, no matter what happens. As the shadows deepened and the howls grew closer, they leaned into each other, hearts pounding in synchrony. Their love was a fragile thread woven into the fabric of their fates, yet it was also a fierce fire that could consume the world around them. But destiny had a way of entangling paths, and as the night deepened, the first threads of betrayal began to unfurl, ready to test their bond. In a world where love and loyalty collided, Elias and Amara were determined to carve their own path together. Little did they know, the trials ahead would not only challenge their love, but also force them to confront the very roots of their identity. As they stood on the brink of a love that could heal or shatter, the forest whispered secrets of a love that defied all odds. Elias stood at the edge of the clearing, the cool wind tossing his hair as he gazed into Amara's eyes, searching for confirmation that she could feel the same pull he did. The howl of his pack echoed in the distance, a haunting reminder of the choice he had made. Elias, you be trembling, she said softly, concern etched into her beautiful features. Is it fear of them, or fear of what this means for us? Both, he admitted, his heart heavy with uncertainty. But my fear of losing you outweighs all else. I won't let them dictate my happiness or our fate. Amara's eyes glimmered with unshed tears, her vulnerability cutting through him like a blade. What if the pack seeks punishment? What if they come for you? He stepped closer, his presence a shield against her worries. They will come, but they'll find me ready. I will protect you, Amara, even if it means standing against my own blood. Your heart is noble, but that can be dangerous, she whispered, her fingers trembling as they brushed against his cheek. Love can be as perilous as it is beautiful. Then let us be reckless together, Elias replied, leaning into her touch. Let us be brave enough to defy fate, even when it screams against us. The air crackled with energy, their bond palpable in the stillness of the night. But even as the world around them felt electric with possibility, shadows loomed. Elias felt a shiver run down his spine as the moonlight dimmed, cloaked by dark clouds rolling in. What is wrong? Amara asked, her brow furrowing with concern. I can feel it, he murmured, his instinct sharpening. A storm is brewing not just in the skies, but within the hearts of my pack. They will not rest until they claim what they believe is theirs. Just then, a figure emerged from the shadows, Lyra, her expression a blend of fury and determination. Elias, she called, her voice echoing with authority. You are a fool to abandon us. Come back before it is too late. Elias bristled, the air around him charging with tension. I am not going anywhere, Lyra. I've chosen my fate. You think this is love? She spat, stepping closer, each word laced with venom. It is obsession. You are blinded by lust for an Omega who will bring nothing but ruin. Amara's breath hitched at Lyra's words, a gaze darting between them. Elias felt the heat rise in his chest, the wolf clawing at his insides. You don't know what you are talking about, he growled, stepping protectively in front of Amara. She is my mate, my equal. Your mate? Lyra laughed harshly, a sound that sent chills down his spine. You've betrayed your pack for a girl from the Silver Moon. They'll never accept her. You were inviting war into our den. I won't let you manipulate me, he shot back, his voice steady. This bond is stronger than your loyalty to a pack that refuses to evolve. Evolve? You mean destroy everything we've built? Lyra countered, her eyes narrowing. Look around, Elias, the pack is unsettled. They want you back. Not this mistake, but... Amara's shoulders trembled, and Elias turned to her, his heart aching at the fear in her eyes. Don't listen to her, Amara. They are afraid of what they don't understand. Maybe they rewrite, maybe I am a mistake, she whispered, her voice quaking like a fragile leaf. I can bear to see you lose everything. I would lose nothing by choosing you, he said fiercely, stepping closer, crowning her in his unwavering resolve. You are my home, Amara. No matter the chaos, I will fight for this. Silence engulfed them as Lyra's gaze hardened, calculating. I'll give you until the next full moon to reconsider. After that, the pack will decide your fate, and I won't let you drag us down with you. With that, she turned and vanished into the shadows, leaving a heavy silence in her wake. Elias felt the weight of impending betrayal pressed down on him, a storm raging in both the skies and his heart. Elias. Amara's voice was soft, tinged with uncertainty. What if they don't understand, and we lose everything? Then we'll show them, he replied, his conviction unyielding. We'll fight for our love, and in doing so, we'll teach them the true meaning of loyalty. Will they see it that way? She asked, searching his eyes for reassurance. Maybe not at first, he admitted, his heart heavy with the truth. But love is a powerful force, Amar. Together, we can change the hearts. I believe that. As the night deepened, they stood entwined, hearts beating in rhythm against the impending storm. Yet every flicker of hope was met with the darkness that lurked just beyond the trees. Days passed, and the tension grew thicker. The pack-ass whispers echoed in the air, each one filled with suspicion and betrayal. Elias felt the cold eyes of his pack watching him, judging him. Each moment spent with Amara felt like a stolen breath, a fragile secret shrouded in shadows. Then, on the eve of the full moon, they gathered in a clearing, the tension palpable. The air was electric as Elias stood tall, Amara beside him, her presence a balm to his fraying spirit. "Tonight we come together," he declared, his voice ringing out like a powerful bell. "I have chosen my mate, Amara, and I ask you to accept her as part of our pack." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, confusion and anger bubbling to the surface. "You dare bring a silver moon into our midst?" Breediness' voice cut through the air like ice. "You will bring nothing but ruin." Elias shouted, his anger igniting. "You read wrong. Love doesn't recognize borders or rivalries. It is a bond that transcends all." Amara stepped forward, heart racing. "I wish to stand with you all," she spoke, her voice strong despite the fear flickering within. "I want to fight for this pack, for Elias, and for the love that binds us." "Love her?" Lyra scoffed, stepping into the circle, eyes glinting with malice. "It is a fool-esque game. You think we will accept a rival?" "I am here to build bridges, not barriers," Amara replied, her courage shining through. "I want to show you that I am not your enemy. This isn't a war, it could be a union." But their words fell on deaf ears as shouts of betrayal erupted. Elias's heart raced as he sensed the crowd's hostility rising like a tempest. "Enough." Elias roared, his voice drowning out the chaos. "If you cannot see what is before you, then I stand alone." "Then you choose her over your family?" Breediness' voice trembled with rage. "You are no longer our alpha, you choose destruction." The implications hung heavy in the air, and with every accusation hurled, the ground beneath him felt unsteady. He felt Amara's warmth next to him, her unwavering belief in them bolstering his resolve. "I choose love," Elias shouted, his voice resonating with the power of 1,000 heartbeats. "If that means losing you, then so be it. I will not apologize for what I feel." The crowd fell silent, the weight of his declaration crashing over them like an avalanche. For a moment, the world around him faded, leaving only Amara's radiant gaze, filled with admiration and unexpected strength. "Are you truly willing to abandon your pack for me?" she whispered, her voice barely audible against the stillness. "Yes," he affirmed, his heart thundering. "For you, I would walk through fire. I am not afraid of the flames." But as they stood together, a dark figure emerged from the shadows when he hadn't expected. It was Asher, Elias's younger brother, his face twisted in anguish. "Elias, please," he begged, voice trembling. "You can do this, we're family." "Then help me understand," Elias replied, desperation in his eyes. "Help me show them that this love is worth fighting for." "I wish I could," Asher said, anguish pouring from his every word. "But the pack will never accept this. They want order, not chaos." Elias felt his heart crack, the brotherly bond fraying. "Is that all that matters, fear over love?" Asher hung his head, the pain etched into his features. "Your choice will break us." "And if breaking is what it takes to build anew, then I will bear the burden," Elias said, conviction fueling him. "I will not let love be a curse. I will forge it into a blessing." With that, Lyra and Breeden stepped forward, their resolve hardening. "Then let it be war," Lyra declared, her voice cold as ice. "You will not have her, Elias. We will bring you down before you drag us all into the depths." Elias felt the weight of betrayal crush his spirit, but Amara at hand. Elias stood amidst the brewing storm, surrounded by pack members whose eyes were once filled with loyalty, but were now clouded with rage. He felt Amara's breath hitch beside him, the warmth of her hand a lifeline in the midst of chaos. "Elias," she whispered, trembling slightly, "are you sure we can make them understand?" He turned to her, his heart aching at the vulnerability etched on her face. "We will make them see, Amara. Just stand with me. I want to let anything tear us apart." The tension in the clearing was thick enough to suffocate. Lyra, her eyes blazing with fury, stepped forward, flanked by Breeden and a few other pack members. You think you can defy us and walk away unscathed? Lyra spat, her voice cutting through the silence. You re a fool, Elias. I am not a fool, I am in love, he replied, his voice filled with a fierce conviction. This isn't just a whim, Lyra, it is destiny, we belong together. Destiny? Lyra mocked, her laughter bitter. You would throw away your future for a rival as Omega. You re putting your pack at risk because of some infatuation. It is not infatuation. Elias shouted, every ounce of his being pleading for them to understand. It is a bond stronger than any pack loyalty. Can't you feel it? The moon has woven our fates together. As if to punctuate his declaration, a gust of wind swept through the clearing, rustling the leaves and carrying the scent of impending rain. The sky darkened, clouds swirling ominously overhead, mirroring the turmoil in Elias' heart. Love can blind you to danger, Elias, Breeden interjected, his tones armor. You are risking more than just your position, you are risking lives. Think about the consequences. This could spark a war not just between our packs, but with others as well. Elias felt a flicker of doubt gnawed at the edges of his resolve, but he pushed it down. I won't let fear dictate my heart. Amara deserves a chance. She doesn't belong here, Lyra cut him off, her voice rising with every word. She is a threat to our very existence. Are you willing to sacrifice everything for this love? I would sacrifice everything for her. Elias roared, his wolf roaring in agreement, the weight of his pack as disapproval a mere shadow compared to the light Amara brought into his life. At that moment, Amara stepped forward, her courage igniting a spark of hope within him. I may come from the Silvermoon pack, but I am not a threat. I want to build bridges, not walls. I love Elias, and I wish to fight for this pack. Fight for your place or his? Lyra challenged, her piercing gaze locking onto Amara with an intensity that made Elias' heart race. For both, Amara said, her voice steady and wavering. I want to show you that love can transcend borders. We share the same moon, the same earth. We can be stronger together. Enough. Lyra shouted, the fury bubbling over. You think your pretty words will change centuries of rivalry? They will see you as an intruder. You will poison our unity. As Elias looked at Amara, her expression resolute, he felt a surge of love flood through him. No, Lyra, you be wrong. We can change everything. We can be a new beginning. But a low growl interrupted their confrontation. Elias turned to see the pack, faces twisted in anger and betrayal, shifting uneasily as they glanced between their alpha and the intruder. What do you suggest we do then? One wolf shouted from the back. Let her in? Let her tear apart our family? Enough! Breeden bellowed, stepping forward with a fierce expression. This is madness, Elias. You re-letting your heart lead you astray. We are family, and she is a symbol of everything our pack has fought against. I will not let you make me choose between love and loyalty, Elias declared. The air crackled with tension, his spirit ablaze with determination. If you want to fight me, then fight me. Their eyes gleamed with a predatory hunger. We will. The moment you decided to claim her, you declared war, and you will lose, Elias, you will lose everything. Amara clutched his arm, her touch grounding him like an anchor amid the gathering storm. Elias, they're scared, she murmured, though her voice trembled. What is they don't see the truth? Then we'll show them, he replied fiercely. We'll make them feel the bond we share, the strength it brings. Love can heal even the deepest wounds. If you truly believe that, you be more Navi than I thought, Lyra sneered, stepping away, signaling to the pack. We'll gather under the full moon. You'll face the consequences of your choice then, Elias. You may lose more than your position. As she and the others turned to leave, Elias felt an ice-cold grip tighten around his heart. Lyra, wait, he called, desperation threading through his voice. You don't have to do this. We can find a way to it. It is too late, she shot back, her silhouette dark against the silver moonlight. You've made your choice. Now you'll face the consequences. Elias watched them disappear into the shadows, a sense of helplessness washing over him. He turned back to Amara, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. I am sorry, she whispered, her voice breaking. I didn't want this. I never wanted to be the reason for your pain. You are not the reason for this, he said fiercely, cupping her face in his hands. It is the fear, their refusal to accept change. We will find a way through this, I promise. But as the clouds thickened and the first drops of rain began to fall, Elias felt the weight of the world pressing down on him. Would their love be enough to withstand the storm that was brewing? As the first full moon approached, the tension in the air was palpable. The pack stood restless, whispers of betrayal circulating like wildfire. Elias and Amara spent every moment they could together, drawing strength from one another, yet the shadows of doubt loomed large. On the night of the full moon, they gathered in the clearing, the air thick with tension and anticipation. The moon shone down, casting an ethereal glow upon the assembled wolves. Elias stood tall, Amara by his side, his heart racing as he faced his pack. "Tonight, I stand before you to declare my love," he began, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. "I have chosen Amara, and I ask you to accept her as my mate and as part of this pack." Lyra stepped forward, eyes alight with challenge. "You think you can just choose a silver moon as if it is a game? You are foolish, Elias. We will never accept her." "Then I will make it my life's mission to change your hearts," he replied fiercely. "We can be stronger together if you choose to open your minds and your hearts to what love can bring." "Enough," Breeden shouted, his voice ringing with authority. "You've crossed a line, Elias. You are no longer our alpha. This is a matter of pack loyalty." At that moment, Asher stepped forward, his eyes filled with sadness. "Big brother, please don't you do this. You're risking everything we've built." "I am risking it for love," Elias declared, desperation rising within him. "I refuse to let fear dictate who I can or cannot love." The rain began to fall, heavy droplets splattering against the ground, mirroring the storm brewing in the hearts of those gathered. The pack's murmurs rose to a crescendo, anger and confusion clashing like thunder. "Bring her down," Lyra shouted, eyes blazing. "She doesn't belong. We will not be dragged into your chaos." With a deep breath, Elias stepped between Amara and the pack, his heart pounding. "If you want to fight me, then so be it, but I will not let anyone harm her. You will have to go through me first." The air crackled with tension as Wolf shifted, muscles coiled, ready to pounce. But as Elias stood firm, he felt a flicker of hope igniting within him. He looked into Amara's eyes, filled with fear and courage, and he knew their love was worth fighting for. "Together," he whispered, squeezing her hand. "Together," she echoed, her voice a lifeline amidst the chaos. As the pack surged forward, Elias roared, a sound that echoed through the forest, calling upon his wolf instincts. "You will not take her from me." The clearing erupted into chaos, the rain pouring down as wolves clashed, sparks flying in the night. Elias fought fiercely, but he was not just protecting Amara, he was fighting for their right to love, a love that could heal old wounds and forge new alliances. And amidst the chaos, he caught a glimpse of Amara, her spirit unwavering as she stood her ground, eyes locked onto his. "I believe in us," she shouted, her voice rising above the cacophony. As the storm raged over the clearing, Elias felt the rain wash over him like a baptism of fury and defiance. The sound of claws against flesh, growls, and yelps filled the air, creating a symphony of chaos around him. He fought with a primal ferocity, instincts ignited, his love for Amara fueling every strike and every howl. "Elias, watch out." Amara's voice burst through the deafening cacophony, and he turned just in time to evade a lunging wolf, its eyes glowing with a rage he once thought was reserved for enemies. He struck back, but with every blow he felt the weight of heartbreak settle deeper into his bones. This was not just a pack battle, it was a schism that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of his existence. The wolves he considered family were now the very ones fighting against him, their loyalty twisted by fear and prejudice. Elias caught Lyra's gaze across the chaos. Her expression was fierce, but beneath it a flicker of sadness shone. "You are making a mistake, Elias," she shouted, her voice strained as she dodged another wolf. "You think love alone can change centuries of rivalry?" "Maybe it can," she roared back, blocking a strike from Breeden. "Maybe it is time to break the cycle of hatred." As he fought, he could see Amara standing strong, her spirit unyielding against the tide of hostility. Each time she warded off an attack, he felt a surge of pride and determination. She was fighting for him, and in that moment, he vowed to protect her at all costs. But the pack was relentless. Lyra, eyes alight with fury, leapt at him, her claws glimmering like daggers in the moonlight. "You think this is about love? It is about survival." Elias caught her wrist, twisting it just enough to disarm her. "No, Lyra, it is about forging a new path, one where love can unite us, not divide us." With a swift motion, he pushed her away, catching his breath as the battle raged on. His heart raced, not just for the fight but for the hope that flickered in Amara's eyes. He could sense her fear, yet saw a fierce resolve shining within. "Eyes," she called, her voice a lifeline in the storm. "We have to show them what love can do. It can heal, it can bring us together." As he fought off of another wolf, he nodded, determination solidifying within him. "Then let us show them together." In that moment, as rain poured down like a veil over the battlefield, Elias felt as though the universe conspired to echo their bond. The forces at play here were more than just blood and loyalty, it was magic, a destiny woven into their beings. Beneath the chaos, he felt the threads of their connection pulsing, a reminder of everything they fought for. "Elias, to me." Amara shouted, her voice ringing like a bell across the tumult. He pivoted towards her, the sight of her fighting spirit igniting the fire within him. With one powerful leap, he rushed to her side, their bodies moving as one against the onslaught of the pack. Together, he shouted, and she matched his energy, fierce and unyielding. As they back-to-back battled through the chaos, Elias felt a surge of emotion swell within him. He could feel Amara's heart racing alongside his own, a rhythm that pulsed with the weight of their love. Every strike they made, every howl in unison, felt like a testament to the bond they had forged, one that transcended bloodlines and rivalry. But as the fight raged, he caught sight of a shadow lurking, just beyond the chaos. It was Asher, his brother, eyes filled with anguish and rage, the very image of betrayal. Elias, he shouted, his voice rising above the clamor. Stop this madness, you are destroying everything we have. Everything we have is built on fear. Elias countered, his voice raw with emotion. I won't let that dictate my life or my love. Love doesn't mean tearing apart the pack. Asher snapped back, desperation lacing his words. You are dragging us into war. Elias's heart twisted at the sight of his brother, torn between loyalty and love. Then let me show you that love can unite us, Asher. We can rise above this. Asher hesitated, confusion flickering across his face. You don't understand what you are risking. Just look at her. Elias shouted, motioning toward Amara, who stood with unwavering determination. She is not the enemy, she is my mate. We can change everything. But before Asher could respond, the chaos surged forward again. The pack attacked in full force, and Elias felt the pressure of their fury crashing down around him. He fought with everything he had left, but the tide of betrayal surged against him like a tidal wave, pulling him under. The storm raged, lightning illuminating the clearing, and with it, Elias saw something that ignited both fear and hope. Amara was surrounded, a circle of hostile wolves closing in on her. No, he roared, adrenaline flooding through him as he broke free from his attackers, racing toward her. Elias, she cried, her voice itched with panic, but there was a fierceness in her eyes that spoke of unwavering courage. He barreled through the fray, pushing past pack members who had once been allies, now blinded by fear. Get away from her, he bellowed, his voice a primal growl that echoed through the storm. With one powerful leap, he interposed himself between Amara and the wolves. He felt her presence behind him, a steady light against the darkness. You will not touch her, he roared, eyes blazing with protective fury. Just then, Lyra lunged again, her expression a mix of fury and hurt. You've betrayed us, Elias. You think this is love? That's madness. Madness is allowing fear to dictate our lives. Elias shot back, muscles coiling like a spring. I will not yield to the darkness. I choose love. The wolves paused, a flicker of uncertainty flashing through the ranks. In that moment, Elias seized the chance, pushing forward. You fear what you don't understand. Amara is here not to destroy, but to unite. Let us not let centuries of hatred define us. But Lyra's anger flared, eyes glinting with determination. You think you can just change everything with pretty words? This will only end in blood. Amara stepped forward, her voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. I am not here to instigate war. I love Elias. We'll never accept you. Lyra interjected, her voice sharp as a blade. You will always be an outsider. You don't belong here. Belonging is something we create together, Amara said softly, her eyes shimmering in the rain. I want to build a future with you all, a future where our packs can stand as one instead of divided. A silence fell over the clearing as rain poured down, soaking fur and flesh alike. Elias looked at Amara, her courage radiating, and he felt the heart of their bond pounding like a drum, building a rhythm of hope amid the chaos. Stand with me, he pleaded, a voice raw turning to face his pack. We can forge something beautiful together, a legacy that we will be proud of. Let us not be prisoners of our past, but architects of our future. For a moment, uncertainty flickered across the faces of his pack. Lyra's expression softened just a fraction, but that was enough to ignite hope within him. Please, he continued, give us a chance to show you the power of love. But Lyra stepped back, her voice cold and hard. You are naive, Elias. You think love will conquer all? This isn't a fairy tale. Maybe it is, Amara said, her voice rising above the storm. Maybe love is magic, an ancient power that can heal wounds deeper than we can see. It's worth fighting for, isn't it? Elias felt the storm around them shift, the winds changing as the pack hesitated. He turned to Asher, who was watching, torn between loyalty and love. Brother, will you stand with me? Asher's eyes glimmered with unshed tears, his struggle evident. I don't want to lose you, he whispered, pain trembling in his voice. but I can condone this madness. Then help me, Elias implored, desperation bursting forth like a flood. Help me show them that this love is worth fighting for. We can let fear define us. We can find strength in unity. Asher hesitated, and for a moment Elias thought he saw a glimmer of understanding flicker in his brother's eyes. But just then, Lyra snapped. Enough of this nonsense. We will show you the folly of your choice, Elias said. With that, chaos erupted again, the pack surging forward, claws and teeth bared. As Elias fought, he felt Amara beside him, her presence a constant balm against the storm. Together, they shouted, their voices united as they faced the oncoming tide. But just